Also, Natasha Wood. Now, she suffers from spinal muscular atrophy, but she hasn't let it stop her from living a very colourful life. Her dream was to perform a one-woman show, and last month she did just that in the West End. Now, our next guest is 37-year-old Natasha Wood. Natasha was born with spinal muscular atrophy, a condition which has meant she's spent her whole life in a wheelchair.
But she's never let this stop her from following her dream of being an actress and putting on a one-woman show. Last month she did just that, and she joins us now, and it's a pleasure to see you. You were just saying then that we have worked together. You were the PA, you were working in the gallery.
I was.
On the last 2 Saturday morning going lives.
I did. I used to whisper sweet nothings in your ear.
Now
and you didn't even know it.
Oh, you see, now I recognise the voice now.
See?
What is spinal muscular atrophy?
It's a genetic disorder that affects the muscles, that basically the signals from the spinal cord aren't going up to the brain, which then supposed to send them to the muscles. So it basically is an overall weakness of muscles.
Right.
So essentially, I couldn't quite pick that glass of water up just there. I'd have to grab it in 2 hands, but so it's an overall weakness.
But you have feeling in your legs
full
and arms?
Feeling, and I can move them, I can but I can't lift them. So absolutely full feeling.
And sadly, this is a genetic thing.
Yes.
And your parents had 3 children, and your elder brother, Martin,
Yes.
is clear.
Yes.
But you and Johnny, sadly, were the 2 who got it.
That's right. So 1 in 4 people in this country carry the gene, which is pretty high. But it's only when 2 people come together with it that they then actually have a 1 in 4 chance of, as I say in my show, popping out kids with SMA. And yes, Johnny, my brother Johnny, and I both had SMA.
He sounds like, I mean, sadly you lost him.
We did. We lost Johnny 3 years ago.
But what a character.
Johnny was an amazing chap. I mean, we're both from, but obviously my parents sold ladies' underwear on the markets in the middle of England, in Birmingham and also in Nottingham. So we were, you know, market traders' kids, you know, so Johnny was ever the entrepreneur. And so as a kid, my dad used to let us throw the banana boxes upside down, and in the summer we sold ice pops and made our own money, and in the winter we sold woolly gloves. And yes, Johnny was quite a character, and he ended up living in an old people's home, his choice, which he turned his little room into a penthouse suite, and doing naughty things with internet.
Yes, well, we'll say that he did set up a fairly dodgy site.
He did.
And by which that he could only really work with 1 finger.
He used to enjoy bossing the nurses about, getting them to bend over and change DVD recordings. Yes, he was a little bit of a devil, my brother Johnny.
So it was the loss of Johnny and the breakdown of your marriage.
Yes.
Your husband, you describe as a hero.
He's lovely.
You say you wore him out in the end.
I think I exhausted him, yes, with all my antics of let's go here, let's do this, let's go here. Yeah, absolutely.
So it was those 2 momentous occasions in your life that set you off on a different track.
Yes. I ended up actually working in production for BBC in the New York office on an attachment. Myself and my dog Zoe have a service dog at the time called Zoe, a black Labrador.
And she's with her sunglasses on.
She was with me for all these years, and I decided to take Zoe off on this wonderful journey to New York, and we ended up working on the US version of the show What Not to Wear. And travelling all up, we became quite famous in New York, the girl in the wheelchair and the dog. We used to walk 30 blocks up the cycle lane, and all the cabbies used to shout, "Yo, Zoe, how you doing?" So it was very fun. And at the end of this attachment, you know, we sort of went over on one of these career sort of changes. And at the end of it, the BBC in London said, and, you know, we want you to come back. It's someone else's turn to go out there. And I'd had this yearning ambition to be an actor. And I just said, thank you very much for a wonderful 14-year career. But I remortgaged the house, and I decided to actually drive across America with Zoe and enroll into film school and writing classes, and started to write a one-woman play.
And all of that came via emails to your family and friends back home, and you found yourself writing amusing anecdotal stuff about what you were doing, and then you'd perform that for your drama class.
That's right.
In Los Angeles.
Yep.
And they're going, this is great. So that's where the idea was born for the one-woman show.
That's right. It was all from emails, and we used to have to, every 6 weeks in class, we used to have to go in and perform writing that was sort of in this little theatre in Venice. and we'd go in, and these audiences were just fantastic. So we'd have 20, 30 people, Americans, and they would come in, they'd pay to see the show, to see the performance reading, and they would laugh and cry and laugh and cry, and after a few of those I thought, OK, I think we might have something here. Let's write a journey.
But the great big leap then is when you had to come back to the UK because Zoe, your doggy, she had to be retired.
Yes.
And sent to another family, which was another heartbreaking moment for you. She's been your constant companion.
Yes.
But then you think, because it seems that you are unstoppable, there's nothing about you that says, oh, I better not be able to do that, or I can't do that. You think, oh, well. You pitch up at the really useful theatre group and say, yeah, would you give me one of your theatres for the night because I want to do a show? And you didn't even have a show.
I had no script, I had no director, and I had to give up Zoe. It was the most awful day, handing her over. I gave her to some lovely family, lovely friend of mine, so she wasn't far away from home in the Midlands, and the next day I drove to London and walked straight into the really useful offices. As an unknown, and I really wasn't expecting them to, you know, to be able to persuade them. I had no script, but I actually sort of persuaded them. They were wonderful to me, and we worked through it, and they kept a pencil date at Her Majesty's Theatre, and that was 18 months ago.
Wow.
And we worked, we said, let's go to Edinburgh, build up your profile, and that's what I did. And I bought reviews and press articles back, and in September of last year, over 1,000 tickets went on sale for Her Majesty's Theatre.
And finally, on the 30th of March...
Yep, 3 weeks ago.
You did the show.
I did the show. It was the most amazing night of my life. I mean, you just can't imagine. Actually, watching that earlier on, just Bruce Forsyth this morning, watching on the BAFTA and hearing what he said, you know, it's just phenomenal to stand on a stage, and I had this humongous, huge standing ovation, which I just wasn't expecting. I mean, I really wasn't.
I think we'd better have a look at you in action.
Oh.
Here she goes.
Now, me mum, Hazel, she's an incredible woman. She's got this double D cup and double D personality. That's D for drive and D for determination. I can see her now sat in front of me at the dining room table. Tasha, don't put salt on your dinner. It's bad for your heart. And sit up. Put your back straight. It's twisted. Don't be cheeky.
And so that was a look at your mum, and we've also got a look at your dad as well. One of those insights. Here you go.
Me dad, he used to hang this enormous 46 double F bra right at the front of the stall. It had a big sign underneath. It said, "Whomever this shall fit, I shall marry."
And it's a story of your dad, which is fascinating. When he explained your disability to you,
It's, you know, it was a mad household. Johnny and I, we just literally, I mean, we're talking about an old barn door with holes in. Dad used to jump on it, put it on the side of an old VW van, and Johnny and I would just career up the van and, you know, into the back of this van with bras everywhere. You know, every time he turned a corner, these bras would fly over us, you know, or it was just hysterical, and there was no safety. Every time we turned Dad to shout, "Are you all right in the back?" "Yeah, we're fine," and on we'd go again.
and he described you when you were younger
when we
as,
were
as
little,
being broken.
Just my dad said, "We bought you in a store, you know, toy department, top shelf." I said, "How much for?" "Very cheap on account you were broken." And it was very fun, you know, and I'd say, "Why didn't you try and fix me?" "We tried. Your mother went out, bought sticky tape and glue." You know, and it was this ongoing. Dad was just full of humour, and you knew very little, you know, you just knew that it was just a fun existence.
Yeah.
There was no talk of disability. We just, Johnny and I don't think we ever realised, you know, there was nothing that we ever wanted to do that we just didn't just go and do.
So much so that you've treated yourself to a little bit of cosmetic surgery.
Just a little bit here and there.
Are you prepared to tell us? Can we share with
I
it?
did. I was brought up with a mum with double D cup, and I didn't get it. I remember the first boyfriend saying, "Didn't get them from your mother, did you?" And finally, just a few years ago, I managed to buy myself a new set of boobs.
Yes.
I'm very proud of them, I am too.
Very good. Yep.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much indeed. So where do you go now? What's the future for you now?
Well, we've got very exciting news. I just applied for a UK film funding, UK Film Council funding, and they've been sort of in talks with me and talking about the possibility of moving on the stage play onto a film. So that's really exciting. And I'm also just underway with a book, so we're looking at publishing deals at the moment. So
would you want to play yourself in the movie?
No, I don't. I'm writing it specifically for someone that I would love to play me.
Are you?
Ah.
You're not going to tell us that.
No.
No, I didn't
What a
think so.
shame.
Well, you're amazing and very, very funny. And
Thank you.
and well done with the show.
Thanks, Natasha.
Thanks
What
for
a buzz
having me
that
on.
must have been. It must
Brilliant.
have been brilliant.
Brilliant.
Thank you.